Hi, I'm John Tumino. I am the co-founder with my wife Leigh-Ann of In My Father's Kitchen.
And my name is Leigh-Ann Tumino, and I am a co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen.
I believe for Leigh-Ann and I and our organization, our mission statement is basically seeing those who feel invisible and bringing whatever we can, whether it be via food, supplies, relationship, connections, to help individuals who are suffering and on the margins find a way out and become a bridge for us working with homeless people out from under the bridge.
I think that also we're a listening ear. When other people don't see people and don't want to hear what their story is. As we say a lot of times, there's always a story behind the sign that someone's holding.
That's right. So how we got to where we are and doing what we're doing here in Syracuse over the last 12 years started actually with an encounter we had with an individual holding a cardboard sign on an off-ramp. I seen him standing there and just felt that he was invisible and I needed to tell him he wasn't. And I went and got him lunch and had this wonderful conversation with him on an off-ramp for about 20 minutes where he started to unpack his life story to me, and I forgot that I was on an off-ramp. And I kind of, after this 20 minutes, I kind of come to and I realized I'm on the corner here with traffic all around and my life was impacted. Even though I did give him something happened to me. And when I went home, I told Leigh-Ann, I know what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to find these folks and tell them they're not invisible and help them. And then that was the first step of how this happened. And then it was just going out, using my natural talent as a chef.
A good chef.
And then using our kitchen in our house and using our little car and starting this process. And then it evolved into our second project, which is our day labor program, where we help people who are panhandling, not panhandle. They get on this work van. It's an alternative to that. And they get to work with us for 5 hours. They get paid at the end of the day. We give them encouragement and a relationship on that van, as well as maybe finding out why they're panhandling, and maybe it's an addiction or mental health, and maybe navigating them to some kind of help. And then our third project is Lifehouse. So these things all started because of that one encounter. Our three main things that fall under the heading of In My Father's Kitchen are direct street outreach to those living in places not meant for human habitation. That's HUD's definition of homelessness. So that's living under a bridge, in the woods in a tent, in an abandoned house. So we have an outreach program that goes out and services them directly. We bring out a medical team with us. A doctor from upstate comes out with us as well, with med students. And we're giving them medical attention, we're feeding them, we're clothing them, but we're also making connections with them to get into housing. Since we started doing this, we've now housed over 290 people that were homeless on the streets of Syracuse, and that all happens because of our street outreach program that's connected to our great coalition here in Central New York, the Housing and Homeless Coalition. So we're the street outreach part of that wonderful coalition of 50 providers.
And Syracuse does have some wonderful shelters, but these are people who won't go to the shelter. They're the hardcore homeless.
Right. And then one of the things that we realized, which leads us to our second branch, which is called Higher Ground. It's H-I-R-E, to hire someone, like to higher ground. And we realized that even though we house people, that if they don't deal with their addiction or their mental health, there's still a lack of a money thing. And if you have an addiction, where you're going to get your money, so they go panhandle. So the program was built to make an alternative to holding a sign, to give dignity through work. But the main thing is where I'm having a 10-minute maybe encounter with a doctor under a bridge, on outreach, our Higher Ground program, you're a captured audience with us for 5 hours. So you're working, we're giving you dignity through work. At the end of the day, you get paid cash, but the great thing is there's a care manager embedded on the van who's working with them to figure out how can we help you not panhandle? How do we help you maybe overcome your addiction or get connected to a mental health provider? So that's our Higher Ground program. Mm-hmm. And then the Lifehouse program is a program that Leigh-Ann oversees.
And in Lifehouse, basically women coming out of sex trafficking, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of, there's domestic violence, PTSD, a lot of stuff that has to be detoxed out of them. So the way that we look at it is we have a scripture that we use, and the scripture tells us that we have escaped the hunter's trap. Like a bird, we're free. The trap is broken, and now we're free forever. So these women coming through sex trafficking court, they're getting set free from that trap, but when they come to Lifehouse, that trap is being broken so they don't recycle back into that lifestyle when they leave. They'll have a plan and a purpose.
Yeah, and part of that plan is your programming that you built.
Yep, and we have a program. We call it the 4 R's. They reset, They restore, they rebuild, and then they relaunch.
Yeah, so that's Lifehouse. For me, I'll speak personally. So I was born and raised in Central New York. My parents were immigrants to the United States. They landed here in 1964. I was born in 65. The running joke was I was made in Argentina, but born here in Syracuse. And I never left Syracuse. I resided here my whole life. I've traveled around the world and seen wonderful places, but Syracuse has always been my home. I've always lived in the inner city of Syracuse. I went to public high school here in Syracuse, graduated. I did public elementary school and middle school. Owned a home. We own a home in the city, so the inner city of Syracuse is my heart. That's where I was born and raised, and what I experienced. As a young guy, I had some bumps in the roads and was living on the streets, hustling around and making bad choices. So I think the work that we do ties into my personal love for the city, because I was a guy who could be these guys. And thank God there was people around that helped me. So I want to make sure that I go out and help those who are on the margins. So Syracuse is my home and it's my heart, and I just love this community, and that's why I love Syracuse.
I'm a transplant to Syracuse. I'm originally from Colorado. And when I got off the plane, I heard a voice on the inside of me say, "This is your new home." And since then, I love Syracuse because it's like the big city, but then you can drive a little bit away and still get in the country. The people here are so genuine and so nice, and everyone, the community comes together on issues and really works on them together. For me, the city and the county, to be able to work together, you just don't see that in big cities, and I really, really love Syracuse. Plus, my family's in Syracuse.
I'm the best reason why.
You're the best reason. I came for him. No.
We both love Syracuse, as you can see.
Yeah, it's home.
So, right. The way that people can help us, first of all, the easiest way is we carry our Taste and See products, which are sauce, coffee, and syrup. They could order those things and have them delivered to their front door in Onondaga County. And they go to our website at inmyfatherskitchen.org, go to Taste and See, and you can order it.
Great Christmas gifts.
Right, as we're getting into the holidays. Or they could pick up our sauce at any local Wegmans and specialty shops throughout the community. It's Eating with a Purpose. All the proceeds from the sales of those products come right back to our organization to fund all things in all three branches that we talked about. One of the things I say to people is, like, you know, as we just left Thanksgiving, we're going into Christmas, everyone has that benevolent heart, but we're doing this every day, 365, 24/7. Thanksgiving for us is every day, so it's like, it's someone's family member outside, right? So if it was your family member, would you want an organization like ourselves or others that are reaching out? The answer is, of course, yes. So I would say support, get behind, whether it's us or somebody else that you feel resonates with something that you as a family want to get connected with, and just get invested, whether it's physical time, donating clothing items. We take clothing items. We're in this facility here on Fridays from 12 to 2. We're open to accept your donations of clothing, gently used sneakers and boots and toiletries and things of that nature, physical items. But financial donations is the best. We could do what we need to do when we want to do it, how we want to do it.
Out of the box thinking.
Right. So if you want to donate financially, please donate through our website. It would be greatly appreciated.